All right, here's the video for lesson 10.01D, independent practice. And basically here we're gonna work with something called adjacent angles. Let me write that down. Adjacent angles. And basically adjacent angles are two angles that share the same vertex, the same corner, and they are next to each other, having a line, a ray, or line segment in between the angles. So, for example, you see this angle here shaded kind of like in blue. This angle here that I'm going to shade in green, okay, that is adjacent to that angle blue here. Okay, so the one I shaded in green is adjacent. You can see they share the E in common. That's called the vertex. I put the name there, vertex. And there is a line in between them, okay, between the blue and the green. Another angle that is adjacent is this one here. Okay, you can see I shaded in yellow. All right, and that angle in yellow is adjacent with the angle in blue. Okay, now the green and the yellow, they're not adjacent. Why? There's no line in between them. No line, no ray, or no line segment. Okay, so the blue is adjacent to the green or to the yellow. Now, because this is a multiple choice, which angle is adjacent to AEC? We have BED, which is this one here. BED, no, it cannot be that one. Okay. CED, look what is CED. CED is all of this, so no. CEB, oh, look, that's the one that I highlighted in yellow. So yes, the correct answer will be that one. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Problem number 2. Same idea, guys. Okay, let me take a quickly screenshot. So I want to find out which angle is adjacent to CEB, which is that green one that you see there. Okay. Now the only angles that are adjacent to CEB is going to be CEA. So this one here. Or the other one that could be adjacent is BED. So this one here. Okay, so I just need to find out which one of these. So this is CEA or AEC. And the green one is BED or DEB. So I need to look for the choices down here. Which one I have. Look, I had DEB. See, that is this one here. Look, I have it right there. I found the angle that is adjacent to the angle CEB, which is that kind of like light green. Not sure what color is that. And that's how you do problem number 2. Problem number 3, same idea. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, same idea. So they gave me the angle DEA, which is that red one there. See? So the only angles that could be adjacent to that, it could be AEC. Okay, that's one of them. And another, so let me write down the letters. AEC, or backwards, CEA. I should have put the symbol angle there. And the other angle that could be adjacent, it could be DEH. So it could be the one that I highlighted in green. Those two that I highlighted are adjacent to the angle in red that I'm pointing with the arrow. So DEH, or backwards, HED. Okay. I just need to find out which of these angles I have in the multiple choice. So AEC, look, I found it. See, AEC, that's the one that I'm going to be choosing. All right. And look how quickly we did those problems. Let's go to the next problem. Problem number 4. And problem number 4, basically, we're going to find out how much we're going to find out a missing angle using adjacent angle. That's what we're going to do. So let me take a picture or screenshot of this. And basically they told me that AB, the blue line, and CD, the other blue line, okay, they intersect at E. And I hope you notice that arc that is made in red and in green. That arc, let me see if I can, I'm gonna put put it in red. So all of this here is 180 degrees. Okay, you can see that's like a half of a circle. Now they told me that angle AEC, which is the green one, that arc, that angle AEC, the one in green, is 40 degrees. They're asking you how much is AED, the one in red. Okay, so using your calculator, you know that the angle CED, so this line where the two little shades together is 180. So you take 180, you subtract what you already have, and you can see you're gonna get 140. And that's how you find angle AED. Let's go to the next problem. Same idea here. So let me take a screenshot so I can show you it. I can write over the picture so you can start getting the idea what we're doing here. They tell you that the angle DEC, now that one I'm gonna put it in red. I'm gonna draw an arc. DEC is all of this. You see the whole thing. Let me make my pen a little thicker. Okay, all of this is how much it said they told me? It's 107 degrees. See, and angle DEA, which I'm gonna shade in yellow. So DEA, so this here in yellow, okay, this here, that is 44 degrees. They're asking you how much is angle AEC, the one in red in here. How much is this? Again, you're gonna take your calculator. You can see the whole big angle is 107, and the little one is 44. So we're gonna subtract 44, and that will give me 63 because the two little angles together add up to the big angle. So the angle here is gonna be 63. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Same idea again. Let me take the picture. Let me take a picture of this. All right, same idea again. It says here that the angle AEC, so I'm gonna use red. So in fact, I'm gonna shade it. So AEC, so the one I'm shading in yellow, so that angle, okay, is 101 degrees. See, that's what it says right here. And then the angle DEA, which I'm gonna shade in green, so DEA, so this one in green, that is 20 degrees. They're asking you how much is the angle DEC. I'm gonna make it thick, my pen. DEC is all of this, see? That's DEC. Let me put my pen skinny again. So they want to know how much is all of that, see? And how do you find that? Well, the two little angles together make the big angle. So take your calculator. That's what I'm going to do right now. So take 101 plus 20, and you can see that's going to be 121. Okay, the two little angles always make the bigger angle. All right, let's go to the last problem, problem number 7. Now here we're going to use algebra. So let me take a screenshot of this. All right, and basically what you can see here, that angle AEC, which is the one in green, I'm going to write that. So the angle AEC, this little in green, is 10x minus 35. Okay. And the angle in red, which is this one here, is BEC, is 20x plus 5. Now, if you see, let me see if I can draw it. I'm going to draw it in black. All of this here is 180 degrees. You know what? Let me move the 20x plus 5 a little farther. So let me put it up here. 20x plus 5. And what I want to show you is that all of this, the green one and the red one together, is 180. Okay, that black arc that I did is 180. And basically what that is saying is, if you take the angle that I wrote in red, the 20x plus 5, and you add the angle that I wrote in green, the 10x minus 35, those two together is going to equal to 180. Remember, the two smaller angle makes the bigger angle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the x's with the x's. I'm going to take the 20x and add the 10x. And that's going to give me 30x. And then I'm going to add the 5 with the negative 35. And that's how I get minus 30. Use the calculator, guys. And all of this is equal 180. Okay? I need to find the value of x to find the angle they asked me to find, which is BEC. Okay? So I need to find out first x. Now I'm going to do 2 steps to find how much is my x at the end. Okay? First step I want to do is I want to get rid of subtracting 30. Always do the opposite of any addition or subtraction. How do you do that? What you're going to do is the opposite of subtracting 30 is going to add 30. So take the 180 and add 30. And now you're going to have 30x equal 180 plus 30. That's going to be 210. And then the next step, second step, to find the value of x, I'm going to take this 30 that is multiplying, and the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to take the 210 and I'm going to divide it by 30. And when you do that, you're going to get that your answer is, your x value is 7. Now that I have the x, I am ready to find BEC. And you can see here, BEC is 20x. Now the x, I'm going to put an empty parentheses, plus 5. And who is my x? Oh, my x is 7. And then you take your calculator and you write all this expression in here. So 20 times 7 plus 5. And you can see it's going to be 145 degrees. And that's it. That's how you do this lesson.